Hey everybody, Mags here. We are going to review some of the hints and tips that we've been given this year on the Dynasty Hotseat. If you are new here, do me a favor, can you like, comment, share on this video for me, please, like you can see here. And then also, if you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button too? It really helps out. Right, on to the hints and tips.
Yeah, so like I've said, you've had some brilliant guests on. They've come up with some fantastic tips, things like checking the scoring and things like that. They're all key things. But I thought I'd try and think of maybe a few things that have not been said yet. So I'm going to kick things off. Obviously, I think the natural progression when you go into Dynasty, you're usually coming over from redraft. I think that's the way a lot of people get into playing fantasy football, starting with the redraft, and then they crave that little bit extra, wanting to play it all year round. So move over to Dynasty. And I think in recent years, Superflex has become more popular than ever. I know when I first started, it was more 1QB, and then had to make that transition over to Superflex. So I think with both of those things in mind, and the thing that I learned quite early is just don't play QB chicken when it comes to your draft. Just don't take that risk and think you can wait a long time. I know, like I say, if you come over from redraft, maybe you're not as worried about having that stellar quarterback. You don't mind waiting a little bit for a quarterback. But when it comes to Dynasty, I think in Superflex, you've got to take an elite quarterback when possible early on, maybe in the first couple of rounds at the latest. So, yeah, that'd be my first tip. I just think you want to lock in that long-term asset. If you look back over previous years, quarterback seems to be the one position that seems to hold fairly true. When you take one of those top guys, it's not very often that you see him drop down the board. Maybe the only guy I can think of, Baker Mayfield, is the one that stand out as an anomaly. But apart from that, you tend to find those quarterbacks that stay up there. And then just thinking to when you then get into your league, if you don't take one of these top quarterbacks, it's tough for you to get a really stable quarterback. If maybe you just take the one quarterback or maybe two, but your second quarterback's not strong, you just try and get a quarterback without offering up a quarterback to get even improvement to that quarterback. It's really tough. So yeah, that'd be my main tip, I think, is just don't take the chance and wait too long. I know I did it when I first started playing Superflex, and trust me, that league it was a nightmare all year long trying to deal with that quarterback situation.
Yeah, I think that is really solid advice, especially you're right for Superflex. I always think, even it's generally a lot of people play like on Sleeper. Most people I know are Sleeper. I think every one of my leagues is on Sleeper, and you have your big list. You got your ADP list. That means nothing.
Yeah.
To do when it's quarterbacks, because the first thing people are going to do is press that filter just quarterback button, and they don't care where that lies. Like, you may think, oh, I can wait and I'll get Derek Carr like when it comes all the way around, because I'm scrolling for ages and I'm not seeing him, but people are going to hit that filter by position. They're going to see Derek Carr and they're going to take him. It doesn't matter who's ahead of him. So absolutely. I think, and also sleeper ADP is a bit funny sometimes. I think it's not always linked fully to Superflex. Sometimes quarterbacks do get pushed down a bit. So if you want a quarterback, take the quarterback whenever you get the chance.
I mean, if you're in one QB, obviously it's completely different. If anything, it's probably the opposite. You want to fade quarterbacks. It's not really a key part. But as I say, in Superflex, you're going to struggle if you don't get two quarterbacks, and ideally you want three. Then you're going to have a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah, completely agree. So, well, brilliant first tip. What you got for us for your second tip?
Yeah, so the second one that I've gone for, it kind of leads on nicely to, I think Kev kind of mentioned it when he talked about the cycle of when it comes to draft picks and their value. But my tip on the whole is just understanding what you can do with these rookie picks and what value they actually have. Because I know when people come into Dynasty, they see, oh, we've got these future picks. They maybe don't really know too much about future players, and they just see it as something free because you get them every year. You get your rookie picks added to your roster and think, oh, this is a nice free thing to maybe improve my roster. And yeah, you definitely want to do that, but you just need to understand the value of them and know that, like Kev pointed out when he was on, that there's a cycle where the values fluctuate. So during the season, these rookie picks, they become less valuable. Really, people are moving them on to get the players that are performing well in the season, and then during the off season you're going to struggle to get those rookie picks. But then you can then apply it to what you're doing in terms of your league. If you're looking to rebuild, I think rookie picks they're the key thing that you want to be grabbing when you're rebuilding, because they are the only asset in Dynasty football that's guaranteed to improve in value. So whenever you get these rookie picks, say you're looking at 2023 rookie picks, even go as far as 2024 rookie picks. Obviously, the 2024, you have a little bit less value on them because you've got to wait, but you can guarantee that once you get a year in advance, 2 years in advance, they're going to gain value. So just understanding that these rookie picks, they're the most stable asset, I think, in Dynasty, and use that to your advantage depending on what you're doing with your roster.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's the sort of one of the things I've always said is every pick will eventually, like turn into a player. Like that will become hugely valuable. And, you got to be, really smart with your rookie picks, because there's definitely a sweet spot as well, right? So some people are like, oh, I can't give you a first for like, let's say, I don't know, like Antonio Gibson. Say somebody wanted like a first plus for Antonio Gibson, like, oh, I'll never give up a first for that. But you have to remember, if you're getting a player coming the other way, that first has to be as good, if not better, than Antonio Gibson. So you don't want to push it too far, but you don't want to, like you said, undervalue it. So there is that rookie sweet spot. And, for me in Dynasty, has this kind of come with, with experience and with, myself and yourself, and probably, everyone listening to this is at an advantage, because we listen to podcasts and we listen to like content all about this, whereas like your average player might not do that. So use that experience you've got as well to your advantage.
And then the plus thing is, you don't even have to use that rookie pick. So it's not like, because you've got those rookie picks, I've got to then pick a rookie. I mean, move those picks on if you're not happy with what you're looking at on your draft board when it comes around to your rookie draft. Then if there's somebody that wants that rookie pick, then feel free to move it on, whether it be for another, maybe a future rookie pick, or taking a player that you quite like for the upcoming season, or as maybe an asset that might have lost a bit of value, but you feel like can improve over the next year, then do that. You're not forced to use that rookie pick, but just take advantage of the fact that you're getting value from them.
Yeah, exactly. And as well, actually, this sort of coming up now, I suppose, right? It's this 22 class. For a while, people have said it's not a great class. And like now looking at it now, there is obviously that huge, like, sort of like Breece Hall, like this like shining light in this class. Everyone else is pretty good, but by all accounts, the next year, the 23 class, that's where the money's at. So every time I got a chance, if I was getting the first round pick for someone, I would be like, give me that 23 first, not the 22 first. And everyone would be like, oh, yeah, like thinking they're winning the deal. But actually, because that class a little bit better, you're ahead of the game a little bit. So
that's it. You see it every year, Mags, where people, even if they don't like the class, as soon as you start seeing the combine and these players performing well, and you start hearing that rumble of players that are getting a lot of interest, obviously Breece Hall, like touched upon, take advantage of that. I mean, it happens every year, no matter what people say about the class. As soon as you get close to the NFL draft, you start finding a bit of hype about the upcoming class.
I'm falling for it right now with Christian Watson.
Me too.
I can't help myself.
I do it every year. I remember I tweeted about it saying, to be honest, I'm not super excited about this draft class. But then once you start seeing all these players, you start finding your favorite sleepers, and you think, oh, I like this guy that I can get a little later on. And before you know it, you've got that rookie fever.
And I'm desperate to buy the 1-1 in my home league as well. So Ben, if you're listening, you need to give me that so I can get Breece Hall, and let's move on from there. Love that as your second tip. So you got one more tip for us, Matt?
I do, yeah. It kind of leads on a little bit to what I just touched upon with the rookie picks, and it's if you are a rebuilding team in Dynasty. The one thing that I've found, and I think it seems to stand true. I know that when I've done rebuilds, it's something I've used and it works well, that running back, that should be the last position that you address when it comes to doing your rebuild, because as we know, when it comes to running back, they're the most volatile position in fantasy football. The values are crazy. A little bit like I spoke about at the start, just looking back to previous drafts that I've done. I remember looking back to a draft that I did only like 3 years ago, I think, and you just look at that. Todd Gurley went 101 when it was a one QB league. David Johnson, all these running backs.
Wow.
There's just so much risk when it comes to running back. And as I say, it's such a volatile position that, yeah, when you're rebuilding, that's the last position you want to address. Secure those wide receivers early, because they're the ones that tend to hold the value. Get the quarterbacks when possible in Superflex leagues. Use your rookie picks to get those quarterbacks, and same with tight end. But then, as I say, running backs, it's the last position you want to address, just because it changes so much year to year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's Rich at the Dynasty Nerds. They always push like that hashtag 2 to 3 year windows. What they always say is like, because these guys, you're right. Like Todd Gurley isn't even in the league anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
And he is like a prime example of, you need to be like just so careful with these running backs. Like, even like, we might think it's impossible now, but I suppose people were saying it then. Like, if you told the person that took Todd Gurley first, be like, in 3 years' time, not even in 3, he wasn't even last year, in 2 years' time, he's not going to be in the league, they would think that's impossible.
Absolutely.
And it could be happening right now with Christian McCaffrey. Like,
perfect example. I'd say he was obviously going, even in Superflex leagues, he was like 101, 102 in Superflex leagues. And you look this year, I've done a couple of startups this off season, is down in mid-second, getting on towards the late second. So as I say, there's just a lot of volatileness in when it comes to the running back position. And as I say, that's just probably the one position that you should be happy to wait on. Don't feel the need to go and get these running backs early, because too much can happen. And if you are getting running backs, go for these younger guys, because once they get towards the end of that rookie contract, that's when things start to get a little bit messy.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. Remember, like this video, leave a comment if you want, and subscribe to the channel. These videos are going to be coming thick and fast, so you don't want to miss anything. So that's it for today. In the meantime, keep yourselves, keep your teams lit. We'll see you next time.